Hi, my name is Brian Caffo, and welcome to this week's episode of Fully Cloudy, where I go over my trials and tribulations of doing data science in the cloud using only a Chromebook. This week, I'm going to show you a nice little tip where if you have a DigitalOcean instance or an Amazon EC2 instance or something like that where you're running your RStudio server, this is kind of like a useful thing to do, especially in some cases. This seems to help me get around IP blockers at some of the some of the locations here at the university. Their public internet blocks certain IPs for whatever the reason. Um, but if I have it connected to a DNS service, that seems to get around it just fine. Also, it makes it so that I can remember where my kind of main RStudio instance is living with as I change it. So recently, I just upgraded to a new version of RStudio, and I have to remember a new domain, and instead of having to remember the number, I'm just going to register my IP with a DNS server. So I've been using Namecheap, and so all you have to do is search for something like, let's say, my RStudio site, and because you're only using this for yourself, um, buy a cheap one. Here's my rstudiosite.club, right? Like kind of a silly domain name, but it's just 77 cents a year. Just when you buy that, delete all the records, just go into your domain management, delete all your records associated with that domain, and then just point it to your IP, give it a couple minutes to update everything. And then when you're done, then you can always go to your updated server just by typing the same address. And then when you create a new one, go into your DNS server and correct the IP. Okay, so it's kind of a silly little tip, but it's something that I've done recently and I found it actually pretty useful. So I thought you might find it useful too. All right, well, I will see you next week.